Hello, and welcome to another video by Panic Props. In a previous video, you got to watch a video on how to create a scene setter. Now the scene setter is like a background that you would use just to kind of change the atmosphere of any scene you want, your home, haunt, movie, whatever. And I showed you a really easy way to create a scene setter using, there's like backdrops and things like that you can get from cheap stores, hobby stores, photo stores, places like that. So I'm going to show you how to create a three-dimensional scene setter though. In the previous video it was a two-dimensional, so if you're looking at it from a distance or straight on, it will look three-dimensional. It has a good effect, but if you're looking at it from the side, it won't be three-dimensional at all. It'll be a completely flat surface. So in this one, we're going to modify that scene setter as a three-dimensional one that you'd be able to look at from the side and actually see some dimension to it. So we will get to that.
Okay, so here we are looking at a portion of that scene setter we created. It's a brick wall, real basic scene setter. This one's from one of the dollar stores, so it was obviously $1, really easy to put together, real durable though. And this one's lasted quite a while, so we're going to actually add some dimension to this so we can use it for some other purposes. And so with these scene setters, they do repeat a pattern after you get the cheaper ones like the dollar store. So if you can find the line where the repeat begins and ends, you'll get by on this project pretty quick. And so I was searching this one and I did find a line on here where it did repeat, and it's pretty much a copy and paste of a smaller image to create a larger image. So I'm going to go ahead and dismantle part of this, and from there we're going to start creating some three-dimensional bricks using the same styrofoam that the scene setter is on. And we're going to paint the edges of that styrofoam with a black spray paint, which will eat some of the foam up. It's an insulation foam, so it will eat some of that, and you can actually use different layers of the foam, like 1/4 inch, 3/4 inch, 1/2 inch, inch, depending on what kind of dimension you want out of your scene setter, and how many different dimensions you want, if you just want a couple of extended bricks or if you want a bunch of different length extending bricks. So we'll get to that in the next step.
Okay, so here we are. I just wanted to show you real quick this next step. What I did was I cut out portions, certain bricks of the design on that scene setter, and then I took and placed them onto some insulation styrofoam. This is the 1/2 inch stuff that I'm using here, and I just used an all-purpose. The Elmer's glue works. I did a light coating here, and then I placed the scene setter plastic on there, so it's attached on there. Some of these I'm making 1/2 inch. Other ones I doubled up, like these ones here. So I just used another layer of Elmer's glue in here and just adhered the insulation foam to itself. So there we go. That's another brick. And you can do as many different levels, thicknesses. Use variety of thicknesses for the insulation foam to cause more of an effect with the bricks. And it depends on how much depth you want to your scene setter from a 90-degree angle looking at it versus straight on. So that's a good way, easy way to make depth to your bricks. So our next step is to you could actually do these without having this glued on right away. I decided to glue it on first because some of my paint will bleed over a little bit for the edging. But the way I'm going to paint these is I'm going to flip them upside down so the scene setter part is down on my paint area, and then I'm going to spray the edges with black. So you have the black in here, and then you could use a little bit of white or gray to cause a little bit of speckles and stuff, but for the most part you're going to see black for your depth. And so that's what we're looking for here. That'll be our next step. And again, always well ventilated area. be careful of where you're spraying, that you're not overspraying something you don't want to get paint on, or whatever you're painting on top of, you don't want to get paint on that. So, and I recommend, you know, adult supervision or an adult doing this, because kids get a little crazy with spray paint sometimes. So we'll get to the next step. I'll get these all sprayed up, and then what we're going to do is use the all-purpose glue, and we're going to adhere these bricks after painted onto the two-dimensional scene setter we already have. I'm going to match these bricks up with the bricks in that image. They will line up. They'll be perfect. They'll same design, same bricks. It's just a copy-pasted image. So we'll get to that. I'll show you that next. Okay, we are back to the two-dimensional to three-dimensional scene setter. I do have the scene setter behind me here, and I wanted to just show you the difference between the two. This is the original scene setter I had, the original two-dimensional that I created, and this section behind me is where it's still two-dimensional. And if you look over here, there's some dimension to these blocks. You can see they are sticking out further than the rest. It gives it more of a brick look, realistic look. Even from straight on, you can see the shadows underneath from the lighting above me, and the bricks are sticking out. The edges look more like bricks. The paint actually eats into the insulation, so it causes more of a rocky appearance. So that works really well for this. And so yeah, there we go. Three-dimensional, two-dimensional. Prefer the three-dimensional always. I think I'll just keep this one as a representation, and that way people seeing other videos, I might use this as a backdrop once in a while, so I could point out the differences, get people interested in that. And I'm going to try to pull the camera here forward and show more of the three-dimension here. So here we are, and if you look here, you do have more dimension to that. Okay, so here we are. We are at a different angle from the scene setter. We are not looking at it head on now. We are almost at an angle of walking past it. And you can tell that the bricks are extending outward from the wall. So it does give you that effect. Three-dimensional actually puts you into the scene. It feels more like a real brick wall versus a two-dimensional wall that would be completely flat. As you can see over here, that's definitely flat compared to over here, which has some dimension to it. So that's what we were looking for. Definitely worth getting the third dimension out there. Brings people into your scene, your haunt, makes them feel more involved, more in place. And other ideas you can do with something like this. You could always add moss to it. Moss is really good for dungeons and stuff if you got the brick. Other things, you could add bugs, spiders, spider webs, anything you can to like draw out the scene and get your person visiting to feel like they are actually in a true, well, whatever your scene is going to be, like dungeon, prison, whatever. Just get them fully involved in there, and you'll have the third dimension here with this one. Works great. Use the insulation styrofoam. The blue works really well. And just you know, go at your projects, keep them going. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe. Be sure to subscribe. We got more videos coming for you, more ideas, more unique stuff, and we'll see you on the next video. Hope you like this one. Panic Props. See you next time.